Welcome everybody to this Chromie Heroes of the Storm Spotlight video. My name is Kendrick Swish and today we're going to take a look at Chromie, a member of the Bronze Dragonflight, and her abilities and talents that she's going to bring to the Nexus. Since Chromie is a Bronze Dragon and seeks to maintain and restore timelines in Azeroth, her trait, called Time Walker, allows her to have talents and heroic abilities one level earlier than each other hero in the game. So that means she's going to learn new talents at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 19. Chromie is known to be a long-ranged siege assassin, so let's take a look at her Q ability called Sandblast. After 1 second, she fires a missile that deals a heavy amount of damage to the first enemy hero hit. Now it is very important to keep in mind that it only hits heroes. You cannot use Sandblast in order to clear minion waves or siege enemy structures. Also, you have to be aware that it has a 1 second activation timer, so you have to aim it very carefully. Let's take a look at what the ability looks like in combat. Alright, Chromie's W ability called Dragon's Breath will fire a large blast into the air that lands after 1.5 seconds, dealing heavy amounts of damage to enemies in an area. Enemies cannot see where the blast will land. This is very important to keep track of. Good Chromie players will always know how to surprise their opponents. Chromie is a rather squishy ranged assassin, so she needs some sort of self-protection, and her E ability called Time Trap fulfills that role. It places a time trap that arms and stealths after 2 seconds. The first enemy hero to touch it or walk into it will be put into stasis for 2 seconds. Only one trap can exist at the same time. Enemies who walk into Time Trap are invulnerable, cannot move any abilities, and are frozen in place, pretty much just like in Zerathul's Void Prison. Let's see what it looks like in game. Okay guys, let's settle down and talk about her heroic abilities. As we've mentioned earlier, Chromie has access to both of her heroic abilities at level 9 instead of level 10, thanks to a passive trait. The first one we want to talk about is Slowing Sands. It places a sand vortex that greatly slows enemies inside it. The longer it is active, the more it slows. As you can see in the ability description, it costs 4 mana per second, so as long as Chromie is not out of mana, she can keep this up indefinitely. Chromie's second heroic ability is called Temporal Leap. It allows her to choose an enemy hero. After a 3-second time window, this chosen enemy hero will be teleported back to the location where Chromie originally cast temporal loops on them. This might sound a little bit hard to understand, so we best check it out in game. So now that we're done with the abilities, let's talk about Chromie's talents, because she does have a couple of really interesting ones. At level 1 you will see that she has access to 3 questing talents. The first one is called Compounding Ether, and it'll basically increase Sandblast damage permanently by 100 after hitting 25 heroes with it. Which, to be fair, shouldn't take good Chromie players too long, so this is definitely a very interesting one. Let's talk about questing talent number 2, Deep Breathing. It increases Dragon Breath's damage by 2 up to a 50. After hitting 25 heroes, increase its damage by an additional 150 and also increase your sight radius by 100% passively. Dragon's Breath is a little bit harder to hit than Sandblast, however I find this questing talent extremely powerful because it also gives you a passive component. We have another questing talent called Time Walker's Pursuit. It is related to picking up regeneration globes, and it'll increase her mana regeneration by 0.1 up to 1.5. Once you have completed that, Chromie also gains 5% ability power passively. Chromie's last talent is called Peer into the Future, and it can be activated to reveal the target area for 2 seconds. Enemies seen are revealed for 4 seconds. I don't think this talent is going to see much play because the other ones are just too important in order to boost her damage. At level 3, we have Piercing Sands, which causes Sandblast to now hit the first 2 heroes in its path. Bronze Talons will increase your basic attack range by 35%. Using Sandblast increases the damage of your next basic attack by 250%. And last but not least, we have Enveloping Assault, increasing Dragon's Breath's radius by 25%. I think this one is going to be the most interesting one, since Dragon's Breath is a really great source of Chromie's damage, and the more enemies you hit with it, the better. Since we've already talked about her rogue abilities, let's move on to Chromie's level 12 talents. The first one is called Bye Bye, and it reduces the cast time of Hearthstone by 75%. Plus, it adds a nice twist. Chromie can no longer be interrupted Hearthstoning by taking damage. The second level 12 talent is called Reaching Through Time, and it increases Sandblast and Dragon's Breath's range by 25%, allowing Chromie to barrage and suppress heroes from even greater distance. In my opinion, this is the strongest talents at this tier. Last but not least, Chromie comes with Time Out. It is an activatable talent that places herself in stasis and causes her to become invulnerable for up to 7 seconds. Just like Ice Block, this ability can be reactivated in order to interrupt the effect of Time Out. Let's actually take a look what the in-game animation for Time Out looks like. Alright, prepare yourselves for Chromie's level 15 talents. The first one is called Shifting Sands, and it will increase her ability power by 10% for the next 10 seconds whenever she hits an enemy hero with Sandblast. This can stack up to 50%, so if you hit 5 heroes consecutively, the Sandblast is going to deal tremendous amounts of damage. Next in line is Fast Forward. It reduces Sandblast's cooldown by 1 second if it travels at least 70% of its base distance and hits a hero. And last but not least, we have Quantum Overdrive. It's an activatable talent similar to Arcane Power that increases ability power by 25% for 10 seconds. Level 19 talent time. The first one is called Pocket of Time and removes Slowing Sand's mana cost and increases the slow effect from 50 to 70%. The second heroic ability related 19 talent is called Loophole, and it causes Temporal Loop to hit multiple heroes at the same time. Next in line is Past and Future Me. After casting Sandblast, leave an echo of yourself behind. The next time you cast Sandblast, this echo also casts an untalented Sandblast that does 50% damage. Two things that are very important to keep in mind is that it is an untalented version of Sandblast, so you're not going to get all those fancy extras. However, if you manage to hit a Sandblast, it can actually have synergies with the existing Sandblast talents. Last but not least, we have Endorhal Anomaly. This causes Chromie to gain access to 3 charges of Time Trap, which can all be active at the same time. Let's actually take a look at what both Endorhal Anomaly and Past and Future Me look like in-game. Alright guys, that's it for Chromie. I really hope you enjoyed this spotlight. Trust me, she was tons of fun to play, especially Chris from Team Liquid. He really enjoyed playing Chromie at the Heroes of the Storm Summit. We've seen tons and tons of fancy Chromie plays. She's an extremely powerful suppress and barrage ranged assassin, which deals an absurd amount of damage if played correctly. And trust me, if you know how to anticipate and how to predict the enemy team's movements, you're going to be the boss on the battlefield. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to share it with your friends, like and subscribe. It will be an honor and pleasure to welcome you back in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, guys.